materials from Uganda. My son has a smartwatch from Uganda. I can go on and on and on and on. But how he just manages to give even when he doesn't have. I saw him with a smartphone last week, an iPhone. I was afraid for him until he told me that it was from someone who has insisted that and it was not allowed. So I wish him Godspeed in everything. And I wish him the very best that life can offer him.
I'd like to respectfully call on the faculty officer, Mrs. Ogushote, for her tribute. Please, a round of applause for her.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, ma'am.
Professor Kayode, please rise. Kayode was born on August 26, 1955 in Surulere, Lagos. He attended Salvation Army Primary School and Bert Freeman High School in Surulere, Lagos. He was admitted to study mass communication at the University of Lagos in 1977 and graduated with a second class upper division in 1980. After completing his mandatory National Youth Service Corps in Ilorin, Kwara State, he was employed by the Lagos State Teaching Service Commission and posted to Sari Igomu Secondary School, where he taught English language for a year, and also served as acting principal for a few months. He left secondary school teaching to join Wicked Stick West Africa, where he rose to become head of management training for Western Nigeria. The Structural Adjustment Program, SAP, implemented by General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida's military regime, forced Wicked Stick to leave Nigeria, and the company eventually shut down. After that, Jimi enrolled at the University of Lagos in 1983 and graduated in 1985 with a master's degree in mass communication, focusing on public relations and advertising. He earned his PhD in mass communication from the same university in 2015. He joined the Nigerian Institute of Journalism, NIJ, as a lecturer in 1988. At the NIJ, he was tasked with establishing the Department of Public Relations and Advertising. A few years later, Kayode served as the acting director of the Nigerian Institute of Journalism. Then, Mr. Kayode, as he was then known, joined the School of Communication, now the Faculty of Communication and Media Studies, at Lagos State University in 2001 as a lecturer. He was one of the pioneer lecturers at the school and is credited with delivering the first lecture at Nigeria's premier school of communication. He has held various positions in the school, including acting head of the Department of Public Relations and Advertising, 2004, a sub-dean, 2005, acting head of the Department of Journalism, 2008 and 2015, assistant director of the School of Part-Time Studies, and postgraduate coordinator for the school. Jimi Kayode Kayode has served as an adjunct lecturer at numerous universities in Nigeria, including Olabisi Onabanjo University, Adekunle Justin University, Redeemer University, Trinity University, St. Augustine University, and Anchor University. He has at various times served as an external examiner for several universities in southern African countries, a consultant with UNICEF, and an external facilitator for the Lagos State Staff Development Center, as well as an examiner with the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. In 1991, Jimi Kayode received an award recognizing his outstanding teaching in journalism from the Poynter Institute of Media Studies in Florida, United States of America. He has participated in training programs both within Nigeria and internationally, including journalism training and a teaching fellowship in newspaper design at the Poynter Institute of Media Studies in Florida, as well as an advanced trainer's course in print journalism at the International Institute of Journalism in Berlin, Germany. Jimi Kayode is a renowned journalism educator, ethicist, and moralist with expertise in media ethics, health communication, and journalism studies.
Thank you very much. My name is Kayode from Treasure. Make it Kayode and I will really be happy because that's authentically Yoruba. A round of applause for me, please. I welcome you, distinguished academics here with us, students of the faculty, all our faculty management, especially our Dean, Professor Jimi. Without further ado, I would get into the theatrics after now, but I would love to invite the Dean for his welcome address. So if you would join me to appreciate him, it would be my honor to welcome to the podium for his welcome address the Dean, Faculty of Communications and Media Studies, Professor Jimi. Let's keep it coming.
Thank you. And good morning to all of us here, our seniors, our professors, our invited guests, staff, friends of Professor Jimi Kayode, family of Professor Jimi Kayode. Today, I am so happy. I'm so happy that we were able to create this time to celebrate a
Mom, say hi to the camera.
A development expert, a journalism trailblazer, a teacher, a philosopher who will not only philosophize but will live the ideals. Professor Jimi Kayode will not just give you 1 to 10 steps of what to do. You will see it in him. He lives it. As a Christian, you see the Christianity in him. As a teacher, you see the lessons all over him. All you needed to do is to read him, and you will see the ideas. This morning I was asking that in the presence of Madam, I was going to check my library to see all his books in my custody. He gives And I know that almost all of us here, especially those of us that started from Surulere, who have one or two of his books on your shelf. He buys them. Sometimes he will buy 3, 4 copies and give out. He's such a selfless person. So selfless that you just wonder, is this not the essence of life? While others will keep acquiring power, acquiring property, all those things do not mean. He just needs to live from day to day and take care of his immediate needs. And then the man is fine. If we go back, we will remember, in fact, I said he started this faculty. So apart from the institution, Lagos State University, Jimi Kayode was the next first person to start this faculty. And how did it happen? Well, red tapeism or the other, the students came in before us. So while we're still undergoing the interview process, students were already on ground. For those of us who are pioneer staff, will remember. So it was becoming a panicky situation. The students were going to go on strike or take an action because they have been here maybe for 2 weeks. No teacher showed up. In order to arrest the situation, Professor Idowu Sobowale just said, Jimi da, and sent for him. So Jimi came in and was teaching every course in order to. When you finish news writing, he will move to history of Nigerian mass media. He will move to broadcasting, advertising, and he's such a versatile person. Rolling in, I would say, that's Jimi Kayode. Then I saw, he just walked in and he was not even different from the days I used to look at him in the master's until today, you can see. Meaning that apart from his physical attributes, natural attributes, he also lived a frugal life. He was not interested in that is why putting this program together, we also needed to factor in his own needs. He's not a man of ceremonies. Indeed, I'm sure if after 2 hours you do not leave this place, he will take his wife and leave us. He will take a walk. He will take a walk.
Exactly.
He
walked to Abegi.
You just go to one Abegi there, taking fresh air. That is his life. He's not worried by all of this. I just wonder how he copes. So, the essence of my speech here is to say that we love Jimi Kayode. We know that he's still living an exemplary life. He teaches by what he does. In fact, apart from your books, you have gifted me 4 Bibles, different versions, King James, and all the others, and then the commentaries. Any of my birthdays, I'll be expecting 1 Bible from Jimi Kayode. So, if we were to talk about him, and that is the essence of this thing, we can stay here till the end of today for just a simple act. I pray for you that peace of mind that passes all understanding will remain with you. Amen. That you will live and live long.
Amen.
And you will have good health. Amen. You will also prosper. Amen. You will prosper the way you want it. Amen. Because what does he want that he can't get? It's just that he doesn't run after those things. So it is people that are not for what you will still do, because we don't want you to go far away from us. You will always be a member of this family. Thank you. But before I round off this speech, I also remember that what we'll have done by our own tradition will have been to honor two of them. Unfortunately, death cheated us and took away Professor Mureno Layola Osho. There's no 5 minutes and something will not remind you of Osho. If he was here, if we pray that God will grant him repose and take care of the family he left behind. So to honor him, let us have a minute's silence for the departed. May the soul of the faithful departed, through the mercy of Christ, rest in perfect peace. Amen. Thank you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. So we have a round of applause for the Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media Studies. We can do better, please. Professor Jimi for us. Please welcome address there. Before I go on, let me quickly recognize the presence of the faculty officer of this faculty, Mrs. Titilola Ogushote. You know, while the dean was talking, a quote came to my mind.
Dedicated the bulk of his scholarship and practice to ethics, particularly in communication scholarship. So, we are going to be looking at the subject of ethics, which has that all-important status, because the entire gamut of communication, from interpersonal to mediated communication, is an indispensable civilizational routine that we must learn to accord meticulous attention for the sake of our cherished peace. There's no doubt in the fact that peace and conflict resolution scholars in the house, in particular, our eminent Dean, Professor Jimi, and I must also specially mention my revered incoming HOD journalism, my incoming head of HOD journalism department, Professor Sulaiman. I was saying that peace and conflict resolution scholars in the house, perhaps more than the rest of us, we appreciate this subject of ethics. But for peace, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, which is the nursery bed for law, manifesting, for example, in this program, of which all of us are gathered today. What can anyone conceptualize and even execute, either alone or collaboratively? Distinguished guests, trying to be duly inclusive in line with the democratic nature of communication itself.
Well, there is this. From the public service perspective, ethics entails a whole lot of issues. It has to do with the rule of conduct, the rules and regulations, the values that we attach to it. It also addresses moral principles. There is hardly anything we do, whether consciously or in the subconscious, that will not appeal to ethics. I am so impressed by the fact that everything said about Professor Jimi Kayode today is ethics personified. So, for somebody who feels the needs of others, will take prominence over and above his needs, who will give selflessly, and who, despite the career growth, reaching the pinnacle as a professor, would only come in as, in fact, the first day I met you, sir, I was in your office, I never knew you were the owner of the office. Because I used to meet some young doctors who would sit there. So when I now left, and we discussed freely, so when I now left and I asked one of them, who is this man? And they said that is the owner of the office. So basically, whatever you do that will project and invest in others, that will make others feel you have treated them as important, as addressed ethics. And that is the good side of ethics. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for all of these definitional solutions. We know that violation of ethics.
If you go to Professor Jimi K's office, it's like he can give you anything. What I will say, my wish for you, sir, at retirement is that you will live long in good health. You will see your children's children, and you'll be happy. And great shall be your reward in Jesus' name. You will live long in good health. I wish you all the best in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much, madam. And right on the heels of that tribute, I'm going to be asking a very important person in the life of Professor Jimi K. I mean, he has a lot of mentees. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
When I came to the faculty and met Baba, I even thought you were already a professor. Or later that I discovered that you were not yet a professor. But thank God now he's a professor. One thing I know about Baba, and I want to tell everyone is, whatever you are doing, just know that people will talk about you one day. So, the best of your interest is good to do good. I can say Baba is an embodiment of simplicity. When you talk about being simple. In fact, we know him as Baba Coke and energy drink. I can't remember the name of the energy drink.
Predator.
Some of the things I can say about him, I remember someone called me one day that she wanted to come and have a birthday party for Baba. I think maybe it was his 65th birthday or so. And I was wondering what kind of a person is this, that someone that has left this faculty came back to celebrate him. She brought a cake, brought brought band. That day I was amazed that for someone like this to be celebrated must be a great person. Then in the course of our meeting, there was a meeting, they were talking about someone. Baba now said, Egbami, we go stand. And what the person was supposed to pay ran into thousands of dollars about gratuity minimum. So it's like that. Then I remember the period of the no cash. Someone asked Baba, will they change cash? You remember the period of no cash? Baba said, what's that down there? Our last one, Baba, you so it's like that. Then there was an issue at the meeting too. We were talking about so he said, student so it's like that. When you talk about, you were talking about ethics the other time. When you talk about ethics, there's no two way about it. It's someone that keeps like that. So I want to pray. The Bible says in the book of Psalms that the child shall die at 100 years. We pray that Baba will live long and die at a rightful age. Thank you.
All right, a round of applause for Madam Ogunshote. And right on the heels of her tribute, I'll be asking the Faculty Finance Officer. We greet you, ma'am. Please put your hands together for Mrs. Kayode.
However, because of Professor Jimi Kayode's rootedness and personification of ethics, these are the safeguards for him from becoming a client of commercial sex workers. Please clap now. We have a moral higher ground that has been standing for him. Thirdly, Professor Jimi Kayode
from me for valuing about dealing with people, what you need to do with people at different situations, dealing with men, things that happen to my marriage. I will not define, okay, is it not the way the men talk, the men, that there is a way men look at issues that women do not look at. Because then as a small colleague in his office back then, who come in and make friendship about family issues and everything, and they will talk about it. So I was actually very so much inside about dealing with people. And when I was driving home, Mama's driving there was just so, I don't know what to say now. Because it was difficult for you to get GBK angry on the road. You would just overlook whatever had happened. And then I'm finally getting out of there after how many years now. Those values still continue to guide me. We talk so much about the values that you hold so much that he's somebody who is simple and generous to a fault. Everybody talks about that kind that you come to your office, and I know it's around. So whoever comes to your office knows that. So I think that's something that I also try to invite you at the end, and I wish we can do more of us. You have lived a life of sacrifice. I dare to say that Nasu has not been so fair to GBK over the years. And I pray that now that you are retiring, it will be an opportunity for you to rise higher and higher. Opportunities will open for you, and you will not beg to be able to meet your daily needs by the grace of God. You are a cheerful giver, and you have done so much. You have given us so much. People talk about people having books. We all have your books. And of course, I think I'm also not because but I also have the number of my books also. I will say that one too. So I think that is it. Unfortunately, we are planned to actually have a proposed book for you. We apologize that could not be done. It would have been a fantastic opportunity for us to launch that book.
We hope we can still get something together and have something worthwhile for it. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Good health for you to be able to enjoy the fruit of your labor. It's after the time when you begin to enjoy the fruit of your labor. Then you begin to know who and who that actually love you. We will continue to pray for you. And while we are praying, we want to see you more there. You know what? Sundays, the day we have. Monday to Sunday. In time I go to say, Baba, you always come to school every day. What is the issue? Is madam not complaining? No, she doesn't complain. Where do you want to be again? Apart from being in school. Baba, Urana Remisa, and shall well with you in Jesus' name. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Adele Julius, PhD.
All right. I'll be asking Associate Professor
Raymond Adeniran to come give a tribute.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I just I was going to be the last one anyway. Why? I was finding just a while ago, so I don't know where do I start. I think I will go to Canada and say I am a student for all my teachers are here. I was a finance student and I also to do my registration and just registered as a student.
I passed through this institution. I have many of my lecturers there. I remove my cap for you. Thank you for what you have done for us. When we talk of the man we are celebrating today, I think he has a dilemma with identity. When I first had Professor Jimi, I said many people outside this place will be confused. But if you mention Jimi, I now put the prof after. Then that will actually define whom we have always known and called Jimi. Like the MC Ranting Code, I met him as a student in 1989. And ever since, we have always been together. Our being together is because there is something special and unique about it that almost all of us have pointed out. And that is simplicity. And this notion about nothing is important, which some people may call carefree attitude or lesser fair approach to life. But I think for each and every one of us, if we open our own book, we know that we are unique in our own way, in our own different way. And God never created two people the same way. We do not know who we are yet. And for Jimi, we all know who he is. He's a lover of humanity, he's a family man, a devoted one. Known Jimi as a big brother, as a lecturer, his scholars as always been sharp on one side. I guess you know what I mean by that. In all facets of life. And that was why when I saw Madame today, I was happy because I saw her last a long time ago. His name is associated with NIJ because that is where he started this journey. And even though it's not
Applause for her, she comes. That will be the final tribute as we get ready to do Professor
Jimi the honor. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, distinguished professors, senior colleagues, friends, and well-wishers. So I would like to sing a song. Baba, oh, Baba, oh, Baba, oh. Baba, sing for Baba, oh, Baba.
garri, groundnut, sugar. I've benefited more than that. So memorably was the fact that I think the refilled fee started with me. And I remember bowing my head, thinking of how to pay. I remember Professor Kayode walking into that room that fateful day, October 17th, precisely, 2023. And he said, "Oh, I think I was so briefly. Monsignor Olosefeshe, Dr. Adeniyi Azam was also present on that particular day." And I said, "Ẹ̀wọ̀n pé mi ò ṣiṣẹ́, orí olórí ẹsẹ̀ ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ mo fi wá kàwé." And Baba just said, "Don't worry." And I remember an alert came in from Trinity. And Baba said, "Orí ti bá ẹ ṣé wọ́n ti sanwó, ó yá kọ account number." And Baba gave me a substantial amount to settle my pre-field examination. That is very, very remarkable. Not just that. December, I remember one particular day, said, "Báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ ṣọdún?" You will think Kìnìkẹ́ was sent to me. Apologies for me, ọmọ tẹ bí pọ̀ lẹ́yìn máa mọ̀. And I remember that day, Jimi, where is Mr. Greg? And Baba Jimi said, "Mo ti lọ bá yín gba rice ní cooperative." And I took an half bag of rice at home with me. Me, ìmọ̀ pápá fẹ́ fi intervention ní December. Not just that, that quality, we will not have the XPMS that we have today. And that is humility. Professor Kayode is so humble. I remember it took a while for me to know that he was older than Professor Layosho and that he was actually even a senior. Because as long as, even if he was not employing you, as long as you are HOD or you are dean or you are holding a position, Baba would do to you the way that those of us that were born to those people would not even do to them. And I'll say that if there's, whenever we talk about the love, the unity, whatever it is you're talking about in this faculty, if people like Professor Kayode were not humble enough and shown a lot of courage and intellect and maturity, we would actually not have that in the faculty. And finally, somebody said something close to it, but I feel like they didn't like I liked it enough. Professor Kayode, Abẹ́láyọ̀ ni wọ́n. Like, it doesn't matter whether you don't even have that thing. As long as somebody has it and is going to benefit the person, Professor Kayode is going to be happy for you and is going to any length to ensure you get it. I would say that he doesn't even, the funny part is, he never, if he gives with his right hand, his left hand will never know. And that's actually something else. I pray that I can try to invite the spirit or even get them as close as possible. And I pray that God continues to grant you good health so that you can enjoy the long life and the fruit of all that you have labored for. Most importantly, I pray to God to bless you. And so, without further ado, I'm going to ask Dr. Ganiat Tijani Adegbe to come forward to give a tribute to the celebrants today, Professor Jimi Kayode. Yeah, please. About you. I don't know when I was ever able to invite those people. The first one is Anga. I've known Dr. Jimi Kayode since 2009. Yes, July 6 or 16. Wow. And I refused last week. And I've never seen you. Yes, I'm fine. Like, I've never seen you angry the way people there. And the guy is over it immediately. I remember the day I made Professor Jimi Kayode angry. And how I knew he was angry was that he kept quiet. for like 3 minutes. He stood up and went for a walk to do a lecture. And by the time he got back, I wanted to talk about what happened. I was like, no share.
Bitterness over your wife, over yourself, over your children, over your grandchildren, shall not be your portion in the mighty name of Jesus. The goodness of the Lord, the sweetness of the Lord, continue to abide and rest in your life in the mighty name of Jesus.
I can take us through the starting of faith as we slowly, definitely draw this occasion to a close. So there you are, Dr. Atupojomo. Here is the mic. I would like to invite Prof. Please come out here. I would also like to call and his wife, yes. But I would like to call Professor Latuji. I'm going to do something small for us before we call them.
On our birthday last year, Baba said, Shebola the birthday of mine. I didn't know how he knew. I said, yes, sir. Má worry, onínà kí àkọlé, wàá mú wá fún, at least ọmọ yẹn, wàá ní láti máa bá communicate. I say yes. And behold, my daughter's first phone, it says the right open and close, kékeré kan báyìí. Jimi gave her that phone. So there are lots of things I cannot just stop talking about.
We all recognize what has come to be known as T-Pain. Those who are familiar with that concept will agree with me that people are just making what they manage to muster. Everyone is trying to operate string budgets. Particularly those on salaries. And you can imagine those who are not in any regular employment. But surprisingly, not only did our colleagues respond very well, and timeously too, the number of our former students also responded very well. I want to especially appreciate everyone, but most particularly someone who we all know was Jimi Kayode's daughter. And it will remain for a very long time. She will remain for a very long time a great source of inspiration to all of us. When she was there, she was like an NFA. I hope we all know what an NFA means. Like a no future ambition person. But today she has a PhD. And she is the highest single donor with a donation of $500,000 naira. And that's Dr. Nancy Jacobs, now Nancy Akamimeja. So, Nancy, when she was with us as our students, I'm sure not many people reckon so much with her. But like they say, time is a trickster. And has played really a fast and intense one on everyone and made Roti come out in the biggest way. And he has demonstrated our full appreciation for all of the student friendliness that Jimi himself has come to confess. If we continue to ask everyone in this room today, how do you see Jimi? Everyone will have something or the other to say. I still have one of his books on ethics. Likewise, Professor Jimi, PhD in Ibadan. has something, almost all of us. So, once again, I want to thank everyone, beginning with our Dean, Professor Jimi, who is a fellow alumnus of the University of Lagos. He had known him since the University of Lagos days, and we are still together to date. Through the rest of our colleagues, Professor Rotimi Olatuji, we thank you. All other professors, I want to start to sound a little selfish. My outgoing HOD, Professor T.O.S. Molabi, my incoming Professor Suleiman Azan, the rest HODs, Professor Dr. Ayubani and Dr. Ladisoni, and the rest of us, of course. I won't leave out the motherly support volunteer by the faculty officer and my next door neighbor within the 10th one building. This is Bishop. Thank you very much. You have led the entire non-teaching team very well and gave us all the support that we needed. May God continue to bless you and the rest members of your team. And for our students, we remain eternally grateful to you for doing all that you have done. And our past students, we are quite happy that eventually Fumi Fly and some of our other colleagues made it to the event. Once again, thank you. Thank you. Yes. She sweated it out for all of us. And that is the master of ceremony. My very dear sister, the most remarkable multimedia maestro, and can treasure. Our gratitude to you is in volumes. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to our movie of the day for accompanying the honoree down to this place. Because we know that maybe for some reasons that may not be understandable to all of us, Baba will have just excused himself and say, well, but we know that because of your insistence, he is here. And it's not in a hurry to go anywhere. I'm preparing them for the rest of the day. Thank you very much. Our gratitude to
me out of my skin. Because ordinarily, I wouldn't want to be involved in all this. And now, Professor didn't tell you the real thing. When he said, and he wanted to go to airport with Kojo, and Kojo, and do it on LASU campus. And the point is that I think that is the best way to do it. I'm so glad to hear so much about me. Honestly, the only thing that I can say that has always come to my mind is that I'm student friendly. I try to be student friendly. Or any other thing, they say I'm this and that. But I thank God that I could actually exhibit all of that. But I've always been student friendly and I can't hide that. And one of the reasons is that I tell people that I don't have money, but I have students. And what gladdens my heart is to see students make it in their period. That's why when I saw me, I'm taking photo with the superstar. That's the celebrity.
Fumi Fly.
Celebrity.
Fumi Fly.
So it's by a photo right. So thank you very much. I appreciate what you've done for me. I'm so glad. Thank you.
You're welcome.
friends from secondary school days, I tell them that one thing I can boast about is that there's no newsroom in Nigeria that you won't find
a student
of mine.
Yes, exactly.
And I tell them, I say that easily. I say I've spent so many years doing this job that there's hardly any newsroom that you won't find somebody who say, Jimmy K, I know that.
Of course.
That's what I really appreciate. And then, of course, even in other spheres of life, MTN, something, Glow, I might just walk into Glow and they say the PR manager is, I say, it's my former student. That is really the what I'm so. I think that's the reward of a teacher.
True.
You get to run into
the pride and all.
Yes.
That's so true.
And somebody says, this person taught me. I say, are you sure? I say, yes. I say,
Yes.
Sorry, so Prof, now that you're retiring, what's next?
Well, I've answered that question. Somebody asked me that earlier. I said, nothing next. In the sense that I'll still continue teaching. As long as I'm in good health, I'll continue to teach. The beauty of this profession of academics is that as long as you're in good health, you still have the opportunity to teach. For example, some universities might decide to employ me as what we call visiting professor. So as a matter of fact, I'm aware of one already. They're already telling me, come and be. So I'll be visiting professor in 1 or 2 universities. But the point, I'm limiting it to Lagos.
Okay.
I don't want to travel. Otherwise, even my friend in Kwara is saying, come over to Ilorin. I say, no way. That one is too far. Nigeria is not like it the way it used to be. Those days I would have accepted, and it would be real fun driving from Lagos to Ilorin, staying a night or 2 and coming back. But definitely I'll still be teaching.
So what advice are you leaving for students like myself, or former students like myself, and current students of communication?
I know the advice we give to you.
Let's hear from the
advice is my one advice I'll give to the current students. Let me start with the current students, the young set. I see them as you get into university now at age 16, 18. I see them as young set. My advice for that set or group of students is that make sure that as you go through the university system, you acquire at least 3 skills.
Okay.
Writing, editing, and design. I call it the word philosophy.
Okay.
The word philosophy of writing, editing, and whatever certificate. The certificate is there, yes, but the skills must also show. Now, but in recent times, I've even added presentation. If you have the skills of writing, editing, design, and presentation. You get, when you leave school, you have those skills to work with. It's even now that we have a digital, you can actually be working for an organization outside Nigeria. Remotely, once you have those skills. So my advice for this new generation is that it is not so much about certificate. It's more about acquiring skills. Make sure you acquire those skills. Yes, the certificates will help because it will show that you've done very well. But you must acquire those 4 skills. Presentation, you must write well, editing, and then design. These days, they now use digital design. You should be able to do simple designs, and you don't need to be a graphics specialist to do good designs and all of that. So that's my advice for that generation.
All right.
For those who are, if you have done anyone who has come to do masters, my advice is continue and do PhD as soon as possible.
I told you that's the advice.
As soon as possible. And I'll give you a reason why I say that.
Okay.
You see, the reason I say is that if you have a PhD, you can still continue without necessarily being a lecturer. You can continue your profession.
Yes.
But the reason I advise that is that when you get much older, for example, by the time you are 60, that PhD will come useful because by that time you may now decide to start lecturing.
Okay.
And I've seen people who come to this lecturing business much later in life.
Mhm.
Even after retirement in your professional job, if you have a PhD, it will be easy for you to now change to
Switch, yeah, to
switch
academics.
to
and all
academics.
that.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's the
very
reason I always say pick a PhD. At the end of the day, maybe you're a professional for 20. The celebration of my retirement makes me really realize that my colleagues and my students, the both former students and current students, really appreciate what I've been doing. I always tried throughout to be student friendly.
Yes, you were.
Yes, and I found out that a lot of students really also appreciate that fact. So it's a glad day for me, especially that I've been during the event. I saw so many of my former students. Some,
Wow.
yes, even from NIJ.
Yeah.
Some of them are now lecturers, and I'd always said the most things I'm so glad. For instance, for seeing somebody like Dr. Adeniran, Raima Adeniran.
Yeah.
Raima Adeniran was happened to be the best student in the first set of undergraduates in LASU School of Communication.
Nice.
It was the first set and the best graduating student.
Mhm.
Well, she didn't make a first class, it was a 2-1, but she was the best graduating student. But that's not even the point. The point is that she's also an associate prof today. And that's really what makes me glad, because I now see former students who are professors, associate professors, and so on. I say, well, and some have even made it in other spheres of life.
Yeah.
So it's a glad day for me.
All right, so let's just walk back in time a little bit. Can you share with us a clips of some of your most cherished memories in the line and in the years of service?
Yes, well, I always identify my early days as a lecturer at the Nigerian Institute of Journalism. And what I always point out is that at that time, I was actually teaching students, some of whom were actually older than me.
You were?
Yes, and some about the same age, some of them professionals already in the field. And I always joke that, well, that happens to be one remarkable period of my life, because that's when I'll tell students, hey, after lecture, let's go and drink beer across the road.
Exactly. I'm
There's
going to come there.
there's no, hey, this one, hey, students, so don't drink. I'll take my students across. We leave the campus, go across, sit down, take 1 or 2 bottles of beer. We come back and we continue lectures.
Yeah.
Because these are the celebration of my retirement makes me really realize that my colleagues and my students, both former students and current students, really appreciate what I've been doing. I always tried throughout to be student friendly.
Yes, you were.
Yes, and I found out that a lot of students really also appreciate that fact. So it's a glad day for me, especially that I've been during the event. I saw so many of my former students. Some, yes, even from NIJ.
Yeah.
Some of them are now lecturers, and I'd always said the most things I'm so glad. for instance, for seeing somebody like Dr. Adeniran, Raima Adeniran.
Yeah.
Raima Adeniran was happened to be the best student in the first set of undergraduates in LASU School of Communication.
Nice.
Was the first set and the best graduating student.
Mhm.
Well, she didn't make a first class, it was a 2-1, but she was the best graduating student. But that's not even the point. The point is that she's also an associate prof today. And that's really what makes today really makes me glad, because I now see former students who are professors, associate professors, and so on. I say, well, and some have even made it in other spheres of life. Yeah. So it's a glad day for me.
All right, so let's just walk back in time a little bit. Can you share with us a clips of some of your most cherished memories in the line and in the years of service?
Yes, well, I always identify one, my early days as a lecturer at the Nigerian Institute of Journalism. And what I always point out is that at that time, I was actually teaching students, some of whom were actually older than me.
You were?
Yes, and some about the same age, some of them professionals already in the field. And I always joke that, well, that happens to be one remarkable period of my life, because that's when I'll tell students, hey, after lecture, let's go and drink beer across the road.
Exactly.
You know,
I'm going to come there.
there's no, hey, this one, hey, students, so don't drink. I'll take my students across. We leave the campus, go across, sit down, take 1 or 2 bottles of beer. We come back and we continue lectures.
Yeah.
Because these are real adults. I mean, some of them professionals on the field and all of that. So it wasn't really something, we didn't really see anything strange in doing that.
Sure.
And that happens to be a remarkable period too. In fact, I still remember teaching one of my students there who was much more older than me.
Okay.
I used to call him auntie. And at that time she would say, teacher me. She would squeeze a student squeezing the
lecturer's here.
I say, auntie, what's good? So I really found that period quite remarkable, because yes, I was really close to students and we're like friends.
Yeah.
And I say, well, when we now, years later, and I now moved from having students being my friend to having students who now call me Uncle Jimi. And I still remember that period also. Now, what I'm saying is that these were students who were not too. I'm not much older than they are. So it was almost like Uncle Jimmy, what's going on? And then I moved from that period to now, when I now became Baba. From Uncle Jimmy to the period where it's now Baba Jimmy K. So I can point to those 3 periods. The period when it was all paddies, and then uncle, and now daddy.
Those are real memories, because I happened to live through a bit of it.
Yes.
And I know what it was like.
Yeah.
And I would say that little extras were what endeared him to us.
Of course.
And whenever you're talking about School of Communication, you're talking about being a part of a School of Communication right here in Lagos State University. These are memories you definitely will treasure.
There's nobody that has gone through the School of Communication. Do we have a call?
No.
Okay, wanted to say something.
I want to say that I feel for the oncoming generation of communication students who are not going to go through professor, because, come on.
You know what? Mira, you knew him from far, then you got close.
Yeah.
He was my daddy for 4 years. I was following him home.
Remember
then when we were in school now?
Cosmos, let's go.
No, I'm waiting for Daddy Jimmy.
I remember.
You understand?
Very well.
And in fact, it was even because of me that he started leaving a bit earlier. Jimmy came with state past 10:30. You understand? But because of me and some other persons, you understand? Okay, we'll leave by 8:30 or 9 or past 9. So we'll wait. And during the ride home, would tell us a lot of stories and all that. And I'm looking at this profile right here, and it's, I mean, for someone who has been a consultant with the UNICEF for several times, starting from '95, was also an external facilitator of the Lagos State Staff Development Center. Was, I mean, is an examiner with the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. I thought you did an IPR one time.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I almost did, but
Yeah.
I backed out at the last
So
minute.
then, of course, I mean, he has done several things. He has done several things. I mean, it's somebody that he has been able to shape a lot of people's career.
True.
Provided you pass through the Lagos State University School of Communication and, of course, the Nigerian Institute of Journalism. Even if you did not stay in broadcasting or in the media, you will know
definitely.
And you know, students these days, I will tell you, media ethics, media law is hard.
I was actually coming to that because
he taught us media law.
He made it quite easy.
It was easy.
Relatable.
So when people say media law is hard, I'm like, how hard is it? For me, the question I want to ask is, what are you appreciative of? I think that's the only question I can ask. I mean, retiring, what are you appreciative of?
That I'm still healthy. And then that I have these many students in various sectors of society and professions who could really recognize me as their former teacher and all of that. In fact, one thing I really appreciate so much is that, and I boast about it,